Hey everybody, and welcome back to another wonderful episode of the Imagineers Disney Podcast. I am your host, Matt, travel agent over at Travelmation, and I am joined by Susie. Hi, Susie.
Hi, Matt. Sorry, I was trying to think of like a really cool title, like to hype myself up, but I think after today,
Podcast Queen.
You know, I wouldn't go that far. If I said it, it might sound a little vain, but if someone else says it, then
I'm sure our listeners think so. So.
Aw, except the Canadian ones.
Yeah, and the ones that like Rock and Roller Coaster
or Figment. Anyway, so welcome everybody else who doesn't fall into one of those categories or a combination thereof.
Yes, welcome. We have a very special episode for you this evening. So Susie is coming back from a very special trip from Walt Disney World, celebrating her birthday.
Yep, we went down, had a little bit of like a combination birthday celebration for my 25th and my brother's girlfriend's 20th birthday. Her birthday's 2 days after mine, so we went that weekend. Stayed 2 nights at the All-Star Music Resort in a suite, which was, here comes the obvious pun, it was sweet. Just had a great time with friends and family. Pretty good weather. Got to do a lot of fun stuff, especially what we're going to talk about tonight. We're going to be doing a review of where we ate our birthday dinner, which was Boma at the Animal Kingdom Lodge.
Yes, so we briefly mentioned this in a recent episode, but we're really going to dive deep in here.
Yes.
It has been a little while since I've actually personally been, so yeah, I'm kind of curious to see what the restaurant is like now. I know that some of the menu items change every once in a while, especially with the seasonal stuff. So let's get right into it. And Susie, tell us about your trip.
All right.
Tell us about Boma.
Boma. All right, so we've been showing Animal Kingdom Lodge a lot of love recently.
Yes, we have.
For good reason.
Mm-hmm.
It is an amazing resort, and the food is spectacular. So I've also talked about this on the show. I have a wide variety of people with different levels of foodie. Some people are very picky. Some people have dietary restrictions. I have a vegetarian in my group. Some people just don't care. They'll eat anything. So we had a group of 7 people who went with us on this trip. My family, my brother's girlfriend, my brother, some friends. So it's kind of hard to keep everybody happy. Even at Disney, there's just a variety and so many different things. But I wanted to try something different and something that would keep everybody happy at the same time. Which is tricky. I don't actually like planning things.
Especially here. Not going to lie, Boma can be difficult, especially for picky palates.
It could, it can. But we got there and it's, you read some of the things, you're like, oh, okay, what's this? You look at it and then you look at what's in it and you're like, okay, these things are familiar. It's got a funny, a unique name, maybe a word you can't pronounce. I'm like, okay, what is this? But you give it a try. So I was looking down the menu, doing my research when I made the reservation, and I was like, there's enough different things here that I think it'll make everyone happy. So we show up, like I said, it's at Animal Kingdom Lodge. You come in, you go about halfway through forward into the main lobby and take a right down several flights of stairs, and you're in Boma. It's a buffet.
Or you can take the elevator.
Or you can take the elevator. We took the elevator on the way up because we were so full. But we took the stairs on the way down just because we were kind of exploring and looking around. And we're like, oh, okay, here it is. We'll just take the stairs. But yeah, very good to note. There is an elevator for those who need to use it. So it's a buffet. Boma has 2 different meal offerings. There's breakfast, which we did not do. We did dinner. Dinner is from, I believe it's 5:30 to 9:30. Our reservation was for 8 o'clock, and it was still pretty crowded, even for a late dinner. So if you're looking to avoid the crowd, just because it's delicious, you're going to want to definitely get a reservation in there. I would either recommend going like as soon as dinner opens, because it's a buffet, you're going to eat a lot of food, maybe skip lunch and just load up, or do it later at night, look around the lodge, go look at the animals at night, and then make your way over for dinner. Dinner is about $50 for an adult. There is a annual pass discount, and there's also a Disney Visa discount if you have both of those, and just, it's the same discount, so you only get one.
Boma also participates in Tables in Wonderland, so if you are a Tables in Wonderland member, you can also use that discount as well.
Nice. Yeah, it's a little bit less than a character dining experience, and I think it's definitely worth the price. Don't see, $50 for an adult and I don't even get to meet any princesses as a turnoff. This is an extremely unique and delicious dining experience that you're not going to find anywhere else. And unlike a character meal, there's way more options at the buffet for food. I would say like at least double what you would find at like Crystal Palace or 1900 Park Fair, at least. And the quality of food is way better. Not that those restaurants are poor quality, but this is just, it's a different dining experience. So it's worth that price. You're not going to miss, you might miss, seeing Cinderella, but there's other places you can do that. So if you're looking for a unique experience with enough variety to make everyone in your party happy, at least that was in my experience, Boma is going to be that choice for you.
Well, let's talk about your dining experience.
Yes.
Did you have any of the soups or stews?
I did have some of the soups or stews. The butternut squash soup was the best soup I have had in my entire life. So we don't really get fall in Florida. Like the closest thing we get is like wearing jeans and going to Panera and eating like the butternut squash soup there and pretending that it's cold outside.
Hey, we've dropped into the 50s, so
for a low, not the not the highs.
The highs were like 70. It's been great.
So we got a little bit of fall, but I love butternut squash soup. If they offer the one at Panera all year round, even like in the dead heat of summer, I would eat it. But this soup blew that one out of the water. It was very, very thick. And it was kind of sweet. I don't know if it had cinnamon or like nutmeg, maybe both in there, but I saw it and I was like, I want to try this, because by then I already had 3 platefuls of food. So I got like half a bowl.
Oh, so you just skipped the starters and...
Yeah, I went straight for the entrees. I'm not sure I could have eaten a whole bowl, to be honest. It was just it was rich and sweet and filling and incredible. That was my favorite of the soups and stews. I also had a lentil soup, which both of these options I've already talked about, the butternut squash and the lentil. The vegetarian in our group also loved, so a lot of veggie-friendly options there. They also have a spicy Nigerian peanut soup. I didn't get that. I think someone else in the group did. A lot of really interesting soup combos that you might not find other places.
Oxtail.
Not gonna lie to y'all, I did not have the oxtail. I'm sorry. I like to try new things, but at the end of the day, I still know what I like and what I don't like. And eating anything with the word tail in it just kind of throws me off. I don't know.
What about gator tail? Gator tail's good.
Oh yeah, as Florida State fans, we eat gator tail every late November.
Ooh.
Ooh,
burn. Sick burn, Susie.
Gosh, we haven't talked about football on this podcast.
No, we have not. Perhaps that's a good. Perhaps
that might be a good thing. Yeah, lots of cool flavors. Lots of sausage, stew, carrot, ginger soup, some coconut curry. Just really unique flavors that, at the end of the day, aren't really that unique. You think soup and you're like, oh, I'm gonna have like chicken noodle soup or something like super basic, which they have chicken corn chowder and a couple other like pretty safe soups. But you think like, oh, I'm having a coconut curry, blah blah blah. It's delicious. It's not this weird, crazy, exotic flavor. It's unique to you, but like, don't be afraid to go and try it, because it's it's good. I don't know how else to say it. Just give it a whirl.
Yeah, if you like curry, there are a lot of curry options. So,
Mhm.
and I think that's a theme really in Animal Kingdom Lodge, especially even over at Sanaa, which is another fine restaurant
Mhm.
that you can do while there. That which is heavily Indian themed. So yeah, the curry kind of comes over into Boma as well as options for you.
Yeah, and I love curry. And this, you eat other flavors or different things, and then you go to Disney and it's prepared by like legit chefs or people who have been trained in that culinary style or from that country, and you get that same flavor in a whole different like amplified version. And so I really appreciated that about all the food really, but the that butternut squash soup especially, like I just want to eat it every day forever.
You know, one of the rules of thumb, I think typically for restaurant menus, is always go with the first thing that is listed in the category. That is what I have found, and the butternut squash is right there at the top.
Yep.
So,
So
did you?
Matt mentioned it earlier. Technically initially skipped what's supposed to be the starters because I like to break the rules. It's a buffet. I do what I want. So I skipped the soups and salads at first, but came back to them and found some amazing flavors. Watermelon rind salad, chicken salad with chili cilantro, Tunisian couscous salad, spinach and quinoa salad, which we all ate and loved. The pasta salad which isn't like a normal pasta salad. It had a different flavor. I think it may have had some curry in there. It was really, really good. It's not currently on the menu online. They had a eggplant
Ooh,
salad, which was really good. It had like some apple cider vinegar kind of
okay.
taste to it, and a cauliflower salad. So because you see it online and may not be there, or they may have something even better. They do rotate their dishes seasonally, so just use this as a general guide for what they mostly will have. But they may sneak something special in there, and you know, might be better than what you were reading online anyway.
Yeah, never know.
Never know. All right. Everyone wants to know entrees, big deal. Where's the food? First of all you meat eaters, we have a vegetarian in our group, and then someone who also was like, take me to the carving station. So
Give
wide
me the meat.
variety at either end of the spectrum. So for entrees, they have something called pop
Mm-hmm.
or pap and chakalaka,
Chakalaka.
I believe it is, which is a South African vegetable relish. It's kind of spicy and it's served with bread, stews, and different curries. So that was really good. Roasted chicken, salmon, which just melted as soon as it got on my plate. It was so, so good. It had like this um, really great, like tomato relishy thing on the top. Amazing. Um, Pork ribs, everyone loved those. Roasted turkey, pork shoulder, beef, fufu, and spiced sweet potatoes. So, for those of you who don't know, which I'm assuming is most of you, fufu is a mixture of what we would consider like regular mashed potatoes and sweet potatoes mixed together. It's got a little bit more sweetness, some other spices, but it's really, really light. Like it was a fluffy fufu. I don't know if that's like the right way to describe it, but when you eat like sweet potato casserole and it's really heavy and it's just like, you know, it's heavy. Fufu didn't have that. It was kind of fluffier and sweet and
Frou
just
frou.
absolutely amazing. Yeah, frou frou. Okay.
Frou frou
Uh,
foo foo.
frou frou. And then other sides, couscous, geel rice, which is a yellow rice. Typically, they'll have something sweet in it, like different types of raisins or other fruits like that. Plantain chips, mashed
Oh, love
potatoes,
plantain
peanut
chips.
rice, um, coconut rice, and Zulu cabbage. All of it delicious. If you notice, all of those sides I just read, like vegetarian. So soups, salads, sides, so many options for different people. Yes, if you want to play it a little bit more on the safe side, they had macaroni and cheese. I think it's mostly for the kiddos, but like, hey, macaroni and cheese is good. So whatever. Tons and tons of different types of hummus and different dips, along with like crackers and pita bread. So if you just wanted to try something like that, if you weren't really into, being a little bit more adventurous, they had that. The chicken, just like I just keep saying, there's so many different things for different people. Don't just write it off because you're like, oh, that sounds intimidating, or we have Mexican restaurants and Chinese restaurants, but there's not like a big chain like African restaurants. So these are flavors and foods that you're not used to, but they are so good. And I definitely recommend trying something that maybe you can't even pronounce on the menu, and you'll be surprised, like, oh, this is really good. I built it up to be something else in my head because it's called fufu. It's not. It's well, it is called fufu, but it's amazing.
Speaking of amazing, they have a wonderful selection of desserts, which I'm sure you.
Oh my goodness.
I know you got a sweet tooth, so
dessert. I do have a sweet tooth. After 3 plates of food, a half a bowl of soup, I was like, of course I have room for dessert. I didn't really, but I went for it anyway. And heard about it, read about it. Matt was like, you gotta try this. That's what you sound like, by the way. Susie, you gotta try this. Yeah, for sure. Zebra dome.
Mm-mm.
So I was like, what is that? Is that like a fancy like zebra cake, like Little Debbie? So I did no research on zebra domes. I just knew they were good and I had to have one. I don't want to know like what was in it. I tasted it and I was like,
share with the world what you have learned.
I had no idea. I ate it and I was like, oh my gosh, this is really good. This is really sweet.
It is very sweet.
It's, very sweet. Someone in our group didn't finish theirs, and I may or may not have been like, I'll take it.
Pass it over.
I'll finish it. Yep, right over here. Here's my plate. So I had to look it up because I was tasting and I couldn't really figure out what some of the flavors were. So it is a thin layer of white cake with a coating of white chocolate ganache and a drizzle of dark chocolate ganache, because zebra, so like zebra stripes. The secret ingredient found in between the cake and the white chocolate ganache coating is an amarula liquor mousse. I think I said that right. I don't know. I don't know what it is. It's really light and fluffy and sweet and delicious, and there's chocolate and cake, and it can't get better than that, to be honest with you. They also had cookies and brownies, little bite-sized cheesecakes, a bread pudding that will just knock your socks off. So dessert is just as good. I was really looking forward to dessert, to try that zebra dome. I was trying to leave room for it. I didn't, but I went for it anyway, and it was so worth it. Oh, it put me over the edge. I was like, oh, rolling out of here. I ate so much food, but it was all incredible.
So for those of you at home who don't know what amarula is, it is an African liqueur. It comes from the fruit of a tree that grows in Africa. And it's actually kind of funny. So elephants will actually pick up the fruit, and especially if it has been sitting around for a little bit, and they will kind of get inebriated off of said fruit. And
wow.
You know that scene in Dumbo where he starts seeing hallucinations or poo, heffalumps and woozles?
Yeah.
That's what the elephants do after they have amarula.
Oh, okay. Elephants dream of heffalumps and woozles.
Yeah.
Okay. Science. Well, now I know. I don't know what I'm going to do with drunk elephant information, but I guess it's good to have.
But it's very sweet. It adds a nice flavor to it.
Yeah, it does. And now that I know that, it's really cool to know that it's also African specific. This isn't just like a really sweet, delicious dessert. It has, meaning behind it. There's a reason they chose it, because it's a fruit from Africa. So thank you, Matt.
You're very welcome. I do what I can.
Learn something new every day.
Yeah, I actually had The last time I was at Tiffin's, the dessert had, actually, was it the dessert? No, it was the main dish. They actually had an amarula cream with the main dish that I had. So it was, it was really good. You can go back and listen to that episode, because that was the last visit. Our Tiffin's live review that I did with one of my fellow agents, Lydia. And so amarula can be found in a few dishes occasionally at Walt Disney World, especially in ones that are African themed.
I feel so like cultured. I know so many things now. We tend to say pretty routine with where we go to eat. I've been made fun of that before on this show by some people, my co-host. Just not.
Sorry,
no.
Cosmic rays. I'm judging you.
Whatever. I guess it's kind of worth it. So when we do get to go try something new, it's very, very exciting. And I really have to put this probably at the top, if not the very top, of my dining experiences at Disney, just because of the variety, trying new dishes, the quality of the food, the service was incredible, the atmosphere was great. It was a really special night, celebrating our birthdays, getting presents, being surrounded by family and friends, getting all sappy now, but it was just a good night. It was a great experience. I highly, highly, highly recommend Boma to anyone visiting the Walt Disney World Resort.
Yep, it is way high on my list as well. The menu's unique. It's a reasonable price. I think it's a reasonable price. Yes, it's still a little expensive because, well, it's Disney.
Well, I don't know. I'm still full from it, and it's been like 4 or 5 days later. No, but really, like, super, super filling. Yeah, quality. Well, I mean, that's something that we try to stress on this show is like, you know what? We're not going to lie to you. Sometimes Disney is, it's got a price tag with it. But for a reason, they back it up. And this is definitely one of those examples of the quality and the type of food backing up and more than justifying the price.
We will never lie to you, and we will especially never lie to you on food. We will only send you to places that we feel are quality. We will flat out tell you not to go to certain places. Looking at you, Pizza Rizzo.
Ugh. Awkward, but yeah.
Awkward. Or Electric Umbrella.
Yeah, one time, never again.
Yep. There are better places to spend your money, and we want to steer you into that direction, into those places. So
I do want to give one more shout out to a food.
Absolutely.
This food that stood by me all night, was on my plate each time I went and got more food. It is the Masai Mara, which is an African red pepper spread, kind of like a pesto, and it had pecans in it. Delicious. I literally was thinking about it again yesterday, and I looked it up online. I found a recipe, and I want to give it a try because it was so good. I want to try it again at home because I miss it.
Yeah, that's what happens when you go to really great places at Disney to eat, and you're just like, I want to go back.
Then you make it at home, and you're like, ooh, did I just ruin this dish for me for forever because I can't cook? And it's not as good as Disney's. I'll let y'all know if that happens. Probably not.
Well, be sure to keep us updated on that.
Oh, yeah.
Wait with bated
And while
breath.
I'm at it, I'll try to make some zebra domes at home, too.
Yes. If you make those, be sure to send them my way as well. So,
but if I did, I would. Yeah, it's a thought that counts.
Well, we hope we have not made you too hungry by listening to this. So, but if you got the urge to come down to Walt Disney World, just be sure to make those reservations for Boma. Sometimes it's not typically a hard one to get into either. I mean, dining can be tricky with Disney, especially with the popular places, and this place is popular, but I see it quite frequently whenever I'm kind of looking for last-minute reservations.
Well, it's one of those overlooked gems just because it's not like a marquee restaurant. like some of the other ones around property.
And it's at a resort. You do have to drive quite
Out
a
of the
ways
way.
out of the way.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that helps in finding a reservation, but it is worth the trip, let me tell you. Well, if you are looking for a Walt Disney World vacation, and especially one where you could come and visit Boma, shoot me an email. My email is matt@travelmation.net. That's travel and mation, like animation. And, yes.
Ooh.
Yeah.
No, I got that before. I'm not just figuring it out.
Oh, well, that's good. Shoot me an email with your desired trip dates, and I can get you some quotes, and look forward to helping you any way that I can. So thanks for listening, everybody, and if you have not subscribed to the podcast, go ahead and do that. We are on iTunes, we are on Google Play and Stitcher, and then we post our podcast link on Facebook. So go find us. We are the Imagineers Disney Podcast on Facebook, and just join in on the conversation. We love chatting with you guys, and we look forward to joining you next week for another great episode. And until then, remember, if you can dream it, you can do it.